Some of the guys down there, they're like, axe. And I was like, what did you say? It's just stuff like reckon, and what you reckon? I'm like, I'm not reckoning anything. But, reckon and axe. And that was the...
I'm fixing to go.
Being in the South, I don't know why, but when I think of the South, I think of jail.
Bubba.
When I was in... Anyway, at one point I went to jail when I lived in the South. I didn't have a license and I didn't realize it. I'm from another state, and they put me in jail. And I didn't like that so much, being in prison like that.
Was Barney Fife there?
Obviously. What's that?
Was Barney Fife there?
Barney? No. And anyway, just that's what the South reminds me of, being in jail. Like, why are you telling me that? But as we move on in what I'm talking about tonight, there was a group of people that you may well be aware of that were in jail, essentially. Even worse than that, they were in slavery for a long time. And it leads into what we're going to be talking about. Most of you are familiar. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. And the next one. And the next one. All right. You're familiar with the Passover, okay? In the Old Testament, the blood of the lamb. And you stop and think about this. These people were in jail for a long time, in prison, and God's like, He has all these plagues, and finally Pharaoh says, all right, I'm going to let you people go. Because of the event that happened, where the angel of death was coming into town, riding on a pony, and he came into town, and the only way that your firstborn child would not die is if you took some blood and you sprinkled it. You had a sacrifice in your house that night of a lamb, and you put that on your doorpost. And when the angel of death, the Grim Reaper, comes through, he was not going to touch you and your life. And so that's what they did. You can go to the next slide. And the slide after that, Pharaoh says, okay, I get it now, you guys can go. It took him a long time, kind of stubborn. I don't know if you've ever been stubborn before. Stubborn never. God wanted you to do something and just like, I'm not doing it, I'm not going to do that. And unfortunately, none of you ended up like Pharaoh at this point. So they went on this epic journey. All right? And they left Egypt and they went out into the wilderness. And you can go to the next slide, and it's an amazing slide actually. There's this great big water. All right, so I don't know what that was like, but if you stop and really think about it, I kind of like the picture a little bit, although it's kind of grainy, but you stop and think about the children of Israel. When they left, there was 1.5 million to 2 million people or so. All right, and they get to this point. Pharaoh and his army's coming, and Moses takes a staff and puts it over the water. But he puts it over the water, and he says, "Go, get going." Okay, and so they start walking. Now imagine 2 million people start to walk across the water. I mean, it's not like this little line where it opens up about 100 yards wide. I mean, it's miles and miles where that many people are going to get through there. The wind blew all night, and the ground was dry for them. Kind of amazing that whole thing even happened. So they get to the other side, and they're like, wow. I mean, if you were in that position, you'd be like, wow, this is amazing. It just opened up as we walk forward. It's good lessons in every life. Not have everything worked out before you start doing it. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Faith requires stepping forward sometimes without knowing. So they get to where they're going, and you can go to the next slide, I believe. And as soon as possible, God wants to communicate with them. All right? They're all camped out there, and He's going to talk to them. And they get to a place called Sinai. Go to the next one. What was given at Mount Sinai? Oh, let's just fix that tomorrow. What was given at Mount Sinai? Talk about a table there. Okay? Talk on your tables. What was given to God's people? He's going to communicate.